Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Gabe,
It's Caleb.
and you guys are watching another episode of the Positive Outlook podcast. You are either watching or listening to. It's not exclusive, but yeah. So, Caleb, would you like to give him a little rundown?
Yeah, so guys, we have 3 days left to either hit 1,000 subscribers or get that $1,000 in the bucket. Again, we've already added 250 to the bucket. We've only had 15 outside dollars, 10 of which I found out were from Anna Amaya. Shout out. Um, but other than that, yeah, let's just jump right in. I just wanted to remind everyone we are running out of time. I would like to buzz my head, even though I have a conference to go to this weekend. I don't care. But regardless, I'm getting my haircut on Thursday. So try to get those numbers up. We are pretty close with subscribers. We're at like 944.
Yeah, that's right where we're
So either create 66 fake accounts. I don't care. Do what you got to do.
at.
Not really.
Yeah, don't
Don't
do
do
that.
that.
Um, yeah. So anyway, um, before we get into today's episode, I just want to once again say we appreciate all the support that you guys give us. And if you're here on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe before we get started. And if you're here on our other platforms, thank you for your support. We do appreciate you guys. So,
Absolutely.
all right. So, what are we chatting about today, Caleb?
Today we're talking about 9 habits to become a winner
9 habits to become a winner. Do you feel like a winner?
slash 9 steps.
9 steps. Yeah, 9 steps. Nine. I don't
You
know. I
could
don't.
argue their habits, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
meant to say steps. That's
Oh,
why
that's
I
fine.
corrected
Yeah,
the
that's
stuff
perfect.
there.
That's perfect. So do you feel like a winner in life?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
I really do. hmm
What is the biggest characteristic that you carry that you think makes you a winner?
I think that's actually a really deep
It
question.
is.
Um, because I would say it's my hardworking like ability
Mm-hmm.
because I do have this tendency where if I have something I really need to focus on, I'm able to literally shut everything else out.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that's what makes me a winner. I really think it's just my ability to appreciate every little victory and just overall have gratitude for every little thing in life. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's honestly more so what would make me a winner than anything I've
Yeah.
accomplished, anything I will accomplish, anything else. It's comes down to
Gratitude.
gratitude for me. What
Definitely.
about you?
That's awesome. I think mine is my eagerness to learn. Um, So when I'm learning a new situation or learning a new challenge, I want to learn the most efficient way to do something. And if I can't complete it with that style, then I want to learn a different way to accomplish it. So it's never like, oh, dang, I missed out on this or I lost because of this. It's, well, I didn't succeed because of this. So now how can I change it so I can succeed the next time? And so it's like that ever evolving mindset where I'm not closed minded when it comes to certain advice or techniques and I want to learn new things. It's a blast. I love that mindset when it comes to the new challenges. So I think that's what makes me a winner.
Gotcha. Do you ever have like a way you found doesn't work? And how do you typically like go about making sure like what do you I mean obviously it's probably case by case what
Hmm.
you determine as success, but
Yeah.
have you ever ran into a way that was like almost made it worse?
Uh I think I definitely have. And how you go back to like it's case by case. Um it can be tough. Kind of like what we do when it comes to talking to people when they're having rough things in their life. And when you say a sentence that doesn't resonate with them, and it's like I wonder what about that sentence didn't like connect with them, and then you say a new sentence and that one connects, and so you kind of try to tie up the dots and then you keep going. So I guess it's kind of like finding those I guess consistencies in what does work, and cutting out what doesn't. So obviously there's not always one solution to each problem, but
Yep,
it's ways to find out what is working and then apply it to something else that is working as well, and stacking them to make it more efficient.
good answer.
Thank you. Good question. So, um, so going into the 9 steps, you ready? You ready to go into them?
Yep, let's jump in.
Yeah. So this is from it's a website we went to. It's called Motivation Grid. So all props to them. They have the 9 steps with their own description, but we're gonna read the 9 steps and give our own description on them. So the first step is set up specific goals because you need to know where you are going. This one doesn't really take a lot of description, but Caleb, I know you love goal setting, so I'm gonna let you take this one.
Absolutely. Goal setting is so important, guys. It's really hard to travel anywhere without a compass, a map, a sense of direction, a destination. A lot of people's biggest issue is that they want something, but they don't know exactly what they want. And so setting up specific goals literally labels, okay, I want this and this by this time frame.
Mm-hmm.
We have all sorts of mentions of goal setting in many episodes. It is literally the first thing that got me into this whole idea of trying to be successful. And I know what success looks like to me because of these specific goals that I have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Goal setting is literally, it's quite literally the pinnacle of success.
Mhm.
Because if you don't know what you're striving for, and if you don't know why you want to chase it, then where are you gonna go from there, right? You're kind of just,
Exactly.
it's like swinging for a pinata. Sometimes you might connect,
Mhm.
but it's not efficient if you're not having that consistency and really know where you're
And
going.
one thing I really like to throw in at the goals because I make sure if I don't do it, it doesn't resonate the same. Post it in many different places. Do not just like have your goals. Once you have them,
Mm-hmm.
like post them where you see them every day. I have one posted in the bathroom. That way, every morning I brush my teeth, I look at my goals, and I can think, okay, this is what I'm getting up at 4 a.m. for, or this is what I'm going to work day in and day out for. And then
Mm-hmm.
right before I go to bed, it's a reminder, okay, good work. You put every amount of effort you could into these goals that you want to accomplish.
Yeah. And so now if you're going through your daily routine and you feel as if you kind of haven't pushed yourself as hard as you should have, and you get home and you see that list, like what characteristic does that help you instill in yourself?
Okay, that definitely helps instill a few things. I think more than just one.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to my mind, is accountability.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you take a look at your performance and analyze how you did.
Yep.
So I guess you could say like it helps you, review your own performance.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's definitely more things than just that, but I'd say the biggest one is accountability.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Because moving into number two, it is you need to learn to take responsibility for your actions.
That is
Which
huge.
accountability is amazing. When I first learned that accountability existed and what it meant and the difference it can apply to your life, when I learned about accountability, it literally changed everything. The way I talk to myself, the way I went through my day, the way I talk to my friends and family, it makes you realize that like this is you. Is
Hmm.
as obvious as that sounds, like this is you, and everything that happens to you is your job to either allocate properly or defend yourself from or do whatever you need to do, but it at the end of the day it's you.
100%. And one thing too is it really sucks sometimes to start learning the reality of accountability and responsibility
Yeah.
because usually it's like you want to make excuses for things that you haven't done or whatever. But the more you become accountable, the more the success actually becomes fun because you are accountable for your success at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
I think a lot of people specifically look at accountability as a negative thing. One, it's really good to be able to say, "Yep, I screwed up. I did this. Like that was me." And
Mhm.
then two, it's like when you are successful or when something does work out, you can know like it happened because of you at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I definitely there's something about knowing that I could have done something differently to change an outcome that makes me feel better. Like if there's
Mhm.
something that goes wrong in my life and I could have acted differently to prevent it, it makes me feel better because I know like I could have done something and it's my fault. So next time around, I have a say in what happens. And really, if you think about it, no matter what situation you've been through in your life, you have a say in it.
Because maybe you still would have had a crappy outcome, but
Yeah.
it definitely could have been a less crappy outcome.
Right. Or it's,
So,
a career path you chose or going to school or whatever it may be, you chose this path.
mhm.
Yeah.
And you still have like for the our older audience, say you made a wrong decision or a decision that's not the best possible outcome that you wanted, you still have time to change up. I mean, I think Gary Vee preaches that a lot more than we do, and it's because he is more with that demographic.
Yeah.
But there's really no age limit on changing your plans.
Right.
There really isn't.
If
It's
you're
easy for me to say, but
Yeah, right. It's so funny watching like interactions with Gary Vee. Like if you're under 30 years old, he kind of just like tells you to F off. He's like, "What are
Yeah.
you complaining about?" it's like
And
it's like,
then
come on, dude.
if you're 30 to 40, he's like, okay, well, you're still now you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you hit like 45 to 50, he's like, I mean, actually, he still preaches like you still have half your life left.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's definitely got an interesting perspective. But it's a great
Yeah.
one. Like, kind of
Hmm.
remembering that you are young, It's definitely awesome that you still have time.
100%.
So, moving into the next one, it is very simple. Form a winning habit. So, forming a winning habit, what does that look like to you?
Setting challenges
Mm-hmm.
all the time. Setting challenges for yourself, whether it's I need to wake up 10 minutes earlier than I did the day before,
Yeah.
or I need to. So I'm back at Walmart, by the way. And a challenge could be so I do like the online grocery. So basically, we just go through and we like pick the groceries out, we take them out to the car. I like race people while we're grabbing the grocery items,
Yeah.
or we'll see like who can take out more orders. As far as sales, we try to see for my other job, we try to see who can do more phone calls in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Literally anything can become a challenge, and it is insanely eye-opening how much of a habit challenging yourself and
Yeah.
other people can like improve things.
Yeah. Yeah. When you see life as kind of like all these little fun like mini games or like challenges that you get to partake in, it really changes your perspective on it because it's like if you I really like the kind of mindset swap of I don't have to do this, I get to do this. And so when
Hmm.
it's like waking up for work, it's like, well, I don't have to go to work today, but I get to. I get the pleasure of going to make money and earn an income, right? Which is a pleasure in life. And when you can kind of view those as more so as beneficiary opposed to dwelling on your life, then it does become a winning habit, and it's super awesome once you do develop those.
Definitely. And there's obviously so many winning habits. Maybe one of these days we can do an episode on specifically like habits.
Yeah,
We've kind of talked about it before here and there, but we could do a full dive. But like those are definitely some top habits right there.
yeah,
Simply challenging yourself and slightly changing your perspective. Daily affirmations are a great one. I still do those when I get out of the
yeah,
shower. It's a great thing to get you like a little motivated and mostly just feeling grateful for everything.
yeah. As corny as they are, man, they are
Hmm.
incredibly helpful.
And the
Yeah,
more you do it, the easier it is to attach meaning. And as soon
yeah,
as you attach meaning to the words that you're just saying, boom, it's like you just see a whole new like world around you
yeah,
form.
yeah. It's awesome. All right, number four, super simple, guys. Very cliche, but it is very serious. Is don't be afraid to fail. Failing is quite literally the best teacher. Probably heard that as well.
Hmm.
Failure is the best teacher. It's you don't really know where you're weak or you don't know what you could have done wrong if you succeed every single time. So it's failure, learn from it. Please do.
And really, it's not even failing. Like I've heard before, the only failure is not trying, and
Mhm.
I completely agree with that because it's either you succeed or you learn.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Only two options there.
Yeah. And it sounds like a naive statement, but it quite literally when you dumb it down and simplify it, that's quite literally what it is. Is
Yep,
you either succeed or you learn. Simple as that. And if you don't learn, then you failed. So
definitely.
make sure you take in the lesson in each failure. So number five, be eager to learn every day. This one is so important. You guys got to keep an open mind with everything, no matter what it is in life. Always consider the other perspective.
So, be eager to learn every day. Does that mean I should be taking college classes for the rest of my life?
It does not. No, it doesn't mean you have to be doing something as serious as that. I think we were kind of raised on the fundamental belief that learning is quite literally just kind of like school, which it isn't.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, what'd you learn today? That was a question every parent asks when you go home from school. And so you kind of like develop that negative association with it, but in reality, it's
Did
like
Did you ever have answers for them? Because it would like
no.
catch me, and I'd be
M-
like, I don't know.
Mine would be the most sarcastic answers, like like I don't know. They're all just funny, but it would be like a very sarcastic answer, right? Like, the drinking fountains are too cold, or something like that, where it wouldn't pertain to like our education at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And by the way, I'm pretty sure you know this, but that wasn't me actually asking if that meant take a class from here on out.
yeah. Oh, I know. Featuring Riley, everyone. You can probably see her right in the corner. Did you just wake up?
Yeah, I was gonna see if you wanted to hang out.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Get her out of here.
So, so cut. No, so that's Riley, my girlfriend's her first time on camera. So make sure everyone says hi. But yeah, no, I know you were being sarcastic with that. that. Yeah,
Okay, I was just making sure because some people do. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there are people who are kind of confused by that.
yeah, right,
Um, because when you say learn, a lot of people think like even if it's just going to seminars,
right,
that's great, that's huge, but that it doesn't have to be that.
right. I mean, it can quite literally just be like Googling cool stuff, like what's going on with the stock market today, or just stuff like that, where you're learning useful information. Yeah, and
Read
so it's
books,
yeah, but being excited to do those kind of things, you have to be eager so that you actually
right?
can absorb it.
So what I completely recommend is I never read books. Like I used to love reading up until middle school,
Mm-hmm.
and then I didn't read a book from about 8th grade to senior year really.
Yeah.
Maybe one book in between there. Don't tell any of my teachers, but this is true.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so when I graduated, my dad had me read this book. I've shouted it out before in the podcast, but it really got me back into reading because it was something I was interested in. It was something that gave me kind of an idea of what it means to be successful. And it also gave me an idea of what's possible, what humans are capable of, just financially, not even in like every other aspect of life. It was
Right.
literally just for financial aspect. And I instantly was like, these books are everywhere. Like everyone
Yeah.
walks past them, like, oh, it's just another book that came out, like
Right.
along with the thousands of other ones. Just try one that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Books are awesome. They're such a
And there's a
great source
challenge
of
you can set for yourself. Read a
yeah.
book.
Read a book. That's a good one. I like that. Moving into the next one is take risks. I don't know how many times we've mentioned this on the podcast.
We
I
have a
feel like
whole episode on it.
yeah, on risk taking. It is so important. I mean, it goes as dumbed down as like, you have to when it comes to going into a relationship or falling in love, something like that, like there's still that risk you take of being exposed and being vulnerable to the other person. Like without taking that risk in life, it's hard to find happiness in a lot of things. So taking risk is like the fundamental of experiencing a new feeling or something like that.
That's funny because you said it's as small as, and my first thought was like taking a different route to work.
Yeah. No, so I'm like when I like as small as I mean like where spots you don't notice it.
Oh,
So
okay.
like that's one thing you really don't have that perspective of like how is falling in love taking a risk, but it is like, you kind of have your heart in a different place and that it's a lot of vulnerability and stuff like that. But that was just like one example. But yeah, taking a different route to work. You could get lost on the way or something like that where there is that risk of but it keeps life fresh.
Traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it keeps life fresh and having a fresh
And
life is
who
awesome.
knows? You might have found a route that's faster, more efficient.
True. Yeah, I remember I
So,
was I was watching it was like a Gary V short or something, and he Googled like an address and used Google Maps to get an address there. And he's like that thing's wrong. That thing's wrong. Like go my way. And he's like I'm gonna beat it. And obviously he didn't beat it, but it was just funny because it just feels Gary V.
although sometimes you can beat it, you just have to go really fast.
Yeah, right. Just drive a little bit faster. All right.
Um, Not encouraging people to speed though.
No,
That mm-mm,
we don't speed over here. No, that's
no,
bad.
never.
So moving into the next one, it is stay focused. This one, I know we talked about this before, kind of talking about do you stay focused when it comes to achieving your goals, and kind of what it means to stay focused. But we won't go that in depth on this one. Pretty much all staying focused means is just remembering what your goal is, why you're going after it, and keeping true to yourself.
And keeping on those challenges that you are setting for yourself, making sure just keep going. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of the steps we've already said,
Yeah.
but just making sure that you're staying on track with those.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to follow that one up, the next step is be committed, which is quite literally, having being focused and having commitment. Like you're kind of unstoppable at that point. And
Yeah,
throw accountability in there. What do you call that kind of person?
a winner.
I call that person a winner. I don't.
No, seriously, if you just commit, because the hardest part about committing is you will have every excuse there is,
Mhm.
which is why you need to practice that accountability. If you realize they're just excuses and you just jump in and you keep going, because there are going to be so many days that you wake up and you're just like, ugh,
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Yeah. What percent of the population do you think then like actually holds those three characteristics? Like this is where we take away the judgment, we take away, specifics of human beings. This is just like generalizing. What percent of human beings do you think they can stay focused, they're committed, and they have accountability?
I would say 25% or less.
25% or less. That's a fair assumption, I think. My number would have been
Because
a
I
little
know,
bit smaller.
well, I
Um,
know, but I'm thinking like there are a lot of people, like a lot of people that you don't hear about or know
right,
about that have definitely had these and more,
right.
you know.
Yeah. Um, but pretty much what that boils down to is the ninth step is that you have to be willing to work harder than others. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the path that you chose, if you're listening to this podcast, I'd imagine you're not just like you don't listen to that voice of ordinary, as Brandon Granger says. You don't listen to that voice of ordinary, and you're here for something bigger than yourself. And if you're trying to go down that path, it means that you have to work harder than others. It's not going to come just by you being ordinary.
So let's talk about that for a little bit because I know we're both pretty busy people.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say you work harder than others?
See, there's a line of humility in there that makes me not want to agree with that statement. But I think,
Mm-hmm.
kind of taking a step back, I do believe that I might take on a higher workload than others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well then, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I see what you mean. Like
Yeah.
obviously, don't go around like I work harder than you. I work
Yeah.
harder than you.
Right.
But at the same time, like it doesn't matter. You should just develop this mindset that you do work harder than other people
Yeah.
because
It's nothing to
there's
be
nothing
ashamed of.
wrong with it. It's
Right.
it's almost it can even create those challenges where it's like, ha, I beat you today. I
Yeah.
worked harder, you
Yeah.
know? So
Right.
it's not necessarily like negative to say,
Right.
oh, I'm working harder than others. It's either a fact or it's not. And if you're working as hard as you can, you are definitely working harder than others.
Yeah. That's definitely true.
100%.
Are you
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 know,
think?
there's no like,
Oh, go ahead. No, finish what you were saying.
oh, I was just gonna say there's no like gauge of like, okay, you're doing this, everyone's doing this much, I'm doing this much.
Yeah.
Like it's just simply you're working as hard as you can, you're working harder than others.
Right. Yeah. Do you consider yourself to be a harder worker than others?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Again, I
Kind of like that
can
same
now know it.
line.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
it's like, you know, I definitely am not saying I work the hardest. I know people who have just had insane circumstances, or some people genuinely enjoy it,
Yeah.
but I definitely have like the highest workload I think I've ever had in my life at this point,
Yeah.
and I'm just doing everything I can to make sure I'm the most successful in each category that I can be.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's all you can ask for when it's work harder than others. The point isn't focus on others. The
Yeah,
point is
right.
just work as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah. It definitely is. And one perspective piece I always think is like, you know what? I'm not a single mom. Like single moms are the hardest workers in the world. And I'll
Mhm.
think about that sometimes like, we've got the podcast going, I work a full-time job and I do real estate. And it's like, you know what? I'm not a single mom. Like
Yep,
they work their asses off. Props to them. So, um
100%. Or there are several other categories that are like just you just can't beat them.
yeah.
But that's not the point. Obviously,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, very
100% agree. Single moms are just
yeah.
goaded.
Yeah. We're gonna make a tier list of like who works harder. Like, single moms are like number two. You know who's number? No, just kidding. But yeah. So great point. What Caleb said. It's not about kind of surveying others and seeing if they're working less hard than you, because you don't gain anything from that. It
100%.
just boils down to like, are you doing the most work you can in the
And
most efficient manner and still taking
and
care of yourself?
that could be like almost another whole step right there, is just make sure you don't compare yourself with others, because
Yeah.
there's a difference between knowing where success is and what successful people look like. But that doesn't mean you should compare, okay, well, this guy was this at his age and I'm here at his age. Like,
Yeah.
that goes right back to just comparing to others, which is horrible.
Right.
You do not want to compare to others because everyone does have different circumstances. The point is simply to just be focusing on yourself and making sure you are working as hard as you can. And, working harder than others is almost like in sports when it's like, you hear all those motivation clips where it's like, or my opponent woke up at 6 a.m., so I woke up at 5 a.m.,
Yeah.
or just stuff like that, where it's like, I was working when they were playing
Yeah.
games or whatever,
Yeah.
Go
Right.
watch some corny motivation clips if you want.
Yeah.
I don't care. But
Yeah.
I think that's what it's getting at. It's just, as long as you are pushing yourself to your max capability, you are working harder than 90% of Americans.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what the 99% don't do. Be the 1%.
And
Every single title for those motivational videos.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that aren't Americans, I mean, the world, the whole world.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's really only a good 10% that actually work to like full capacity.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's so that you don't have to do it later in life. That's why I do it. So,
Also, can I just drop some news on our podcast listeners, because I'm so excited. And the first person I actually had to tell was just some random lady I had an order with,
Mhm.
like an appointment with.
yeah.
Just because my whole morning was meetings, and
Yeah.
so one of my meetings was to register for classes, and I finally got approved, and I'm in the aviation program. I cannot believe that I'm already going to be flying. And this is where it's kind of like I do feel like a winner, because to other people, it's like, wow, you're just starting aviation. You are nowhere near a winner. You're about to go into debt. You're
Mhm.
about to spend a long time learning to fly, let alone, like not
Right.
even close to my top goals yet. But the reason I got into the program this year was because my points on the point system were so high, which means that I worked my butt off just to get into the program, and I'm finally in it. So
Yeah.
um, I don't know. It's just things like that. You have to definitely just shift your perspective, because winning doesn't mean you're at the top. You're where you want to be,
Yeah.
but it just means that you've accomplished, like, literally waking up in the morning.
Mhm.
You've already accomplished what others have not, which is, a horrible thing to think about. But
Yeah. But it's true.
the fact that you are here today, you have already accomplished what others haven't. So just keep the ball
Yeah.
rolling, keep going after another accomplishment, keep chasing it, keep, learning new things, keep meeting new people, let people know that you're thankful for them.
Yeah. Moral of the story: be a winner. Everybody loves a winner.
Be a winner. Mm-hmm.
That's some truth
And
right
this
there.
isn't because another little this I don't know if this counts as like controversial, probably not, but the whole like everyone gets a trophy for participating,
Yeah.
like that is not a winner. But I also don't necessarily think a winner is the guy with the trophy. It's
Right.
somewhere in between.
Mhm. Yeah. It's so yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I agree with you there. So, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to add to the episode today? I feel like it was a pretty good one. I liked all the topics we covered, and I feel like it's a kind of just a reiteration of our whole podcast, but I
Yeah, it
enjoyed
was
it.
a lot of fun. If this is your guys' first time listening and you made it this far, you have to subscribe or follow us. You just have to. I mean,
It's
you
law.
have just dedicated a good amount of time to listening to us talk about some great stuff. And if it applies to you at all, especially subscribe. Leave a comment. We love talking to you guys.
Yeah,
We love
definitely.
it. We don't like the bots. We really don't. But if you're not a bot, comment, and I promise you we will respond.
Yes, please do. We love the interaction. Excuse me. We love getting in, talking to our community and just that kind of stuff. So, yeah, if you're still listening at the moment, please comment. Let us know you are here. But past that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Like Caleb said, like and subscribe, follow if you're not on YouTube, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your week.
Donation link will be in the description,
Yes.
and it's still in our Instagram bio. But yeah, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Peace.